Hello and welcome to DC Velocity's Thought Leadership Series, produced in conjunction with MHI. My name is Mark Solomon. I'm a senior editor at DC Velocity magazine. We are pleased to be joined today by Larry Hagstrom. Larry is the 3D print manager at a UPS store in San Diego. Larry's distinction is that he is the first 3D print manager to operate in a retail store environment, not only within UPS, but perhaps in the entire nation. And given the buzz surrounding 3D printing, that is quite a distinction. Larry, thank you for joining us.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Okay. How did you get interested in the concept and what made you a believer in it?
Good question. So I have a background in 3D animation and special effects, and have just loved 3D since the mid-90s, back when the dawn of time of computers. And when 3D printing came around, I thought this is something I really wanted to get involved in. And the synchronicity was that my best friend owns a few 3D or UPS stores, and they decided to put a 3D printer in his store. I called him up, I said, "What are you doing with this thing?" He says, "I don't know, help me out." And that was about a year ago. And we've just been busy and having a ball ever since.
UPS is a enormous company, $56 billion in revenue. Are they committed to the product? Do you see a 3D printer in the company's future throughout its system, beyond the retail store environment?
In the retail store environment. So yes, they are committed. The test market went fine in 6 stores across the nation. Went great, actually. They just rolled it out this month to 100 more stores across the nation. They're deciding which stores based on geography and population, and not every store in the UPS network is going to get one. There's almost 5,000 stores. So I would say there will be between 300 and 400 stores with 3D printers in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Explain to our viewers, as briefly as you can or as succinctly as you can, how the 3D printing process works, because a lot of people can't get their arms around it.
Sure. I mean, it begins with a file, a 3D CAD file, computer-aided design. It's basically a 2D image on a screen, and it just lacks any kind of depth and emotion. Once you print it up from the ground up, it's an additive where it prints layer by layer by layer up, and put that object in the creator's hands. It's just like seeing somebody with their child at birth. It's the first time that they've actually felt something that they've created on the computer.
You are here at a material handling show.
Sure.
These are people who operate material handling equipment in a warehouse and distribution center environment. You work in a retail environment. What are you here to do? What is your objective being at this show?
Sure. Basically, it's just to promote that UPS has 3D printing. So if anybody in a warehouse anywhere is running around and the shifter off their forklift breaks, the knob, let's say, they could go get one printed at the local UPS store and have it on their forklift in a matter of hours or days. Or more complicated parts. Let's say an out-of-date printer needs a cog, or an out-of-date machine needs a flywheel of some sort. We can model it up, we can print it, we can have it to you back the next day. A great anecdote was a guy bought a really expensive harness system for his off-road truck, bought it from Germany. He had a race that weekend. He called up the company. He was missing a part that kept all of the parts together. on his harness, the company said, "Oh, go get it 3D printed. Here's the file." He looked up 3D printers on Google. We popped up. He walked in the door one morning. He says, "Can you print me this?" I said, "Yeah, I'll have it to you in the afternoon." That was a Thursday. He was racing Saturday morning. You know, he could have waited for them to ship it from Germany. That might have taken a week or so.
Last question, would 3D printing in the warehouse DC environment be more spare parts, emergency issues if a part breaks? Do you see it having any more traction than that?
It's really up to the people in your warehouse. I can see just the surface uses for a 3D printer, but it's going to be that guy driving the forklift that said, "Hey, wouldn't it be great and wouldn't it save me a lot of time if I could print up this part and make this thing work and save me an hour of whatever job I'm doing?" It's really not up to me trying to figure it out for them. It's giving them the tool to make a tool for themselves.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Larry.
All right. Thanks, Mark.